Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Doing another tier list here today. This time, going to be focusing on major utility coins. So, I know I always do the meme coins, but doing a video here on utility projects, including layer ones, the top AI coins, as well as other decentralized exchanges and digital currencies. So we're just going to go through this. We've got a 3x. Well, actually, I really need to add another. I need to add another row. We're going to have to add another row to this and put this at like a 1.5x, honestly, because that's very likely where Bitcoin is going. So I guess I'll do Bitcoin first and give my take on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a completely different investment. Right now, Bitcoin, you take a look at it. This is normally what I do if we can get this to load. So taking a look at Bitcoin, the reason I'm going 1.5x is because based off of the cycle, I mean, it has done a, see, this thing's annoying. They want me to do a 5-minute survey. Bitcoin has already done, I mean, what was its cycle low? People say 16K. I thought it was like 12K, but 15 to 16K to 110K. I mean, 160, 170. So that's like a 50% increase from here. So if maybe it'll go to 180. Maybe on the upper level, you're talking about a 2x, but again, it's a different type of investment. I don't want to call it a boomer investment. It is more of a hedge against inflation at this point. If you are looking for a 10x or a 20x, to put it into context, right now it does have a market cap of $1.4 trillion, or excuse me, $2.1 trillion. If Bitcoin were to do a 10x, it would be at the valuation of gold. Significantly more valuable than Nvidia, significantly more valuable than Google, significantly more valuable than Microsoft. Right now, it's $2 trillion less than Nvidia and almost on par with Google, Microsoft, and the Taiwanese semiconductor company. Like that's how high Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin, 50% increase. That's basically a 1.5x. I believe that's what it is. And so that's just my opinion on Bitcoin. The next one you have is Aerodrome. So Aerodrome is like the Aerodrome Finance. It's like the layer 2 version of Uniswap. Uniswap obviously on layer 1, which is kind of like an exchange, decentralized exchange to Ethereum. This is like the main decentralized hub to Base. So the layer 2 built on Ethereum, built with Coinbase. And right now it's sitting at around $1 billion fully diluted. It's $2 billion. What does the vesting schedule look like on this? That's what we would really need to figure out. But I would imagine there's not going to be a ton more supply circulated within the next 4 or 5 months, which is when the heavy money is going to come in. And I do think Base is going to do very well. Interesting thing about Base in general, there is not an official governance token. There's no Base coin because people just use the Ethereum bridged version on Base. So the basically variant of Ethereum bridged. So, I mean, you could say that maybe by default, this is like the governance token, the Aerodrome token. Taking a look at it, what is it, an all-time high around 1.5? I would say this is good for, depends how bullish you are on Base. Compare this to Uniswap. Uniswap's obviously going to have a higher valuation. It's used significantly more. It's the layer 1 with Ethereum. But I could see a 10 to a 20x on a coin like this. It wouldn't shock me. So I'd go to like 11 to a 15x. Next, taking a look at BitTensor. So BitTensor, as they call it, kind of the Bitcoin of AI currencies, right now sitting at $3 billion valuation, the highest AI coin in terms of total valuation, $317. Same supply as Bitcoin. Right now, you do have a circulating supply of 9.5 million fully diluted. It's sitting at over 6.6 billion. I guess my thesis on AI is that it is ridiculously undervalued compared to real world assets. You look at the stock market, some of the most valuable companies like Nvidia, they are AI. And we don't see that really with, I mean, you see a lot of layer ones. You see a lot of use mixed into layer ones and AIs and smart contracts, but you don't see an official AI. This would be the coin that I could see possibly going to $100 billion. From here, that's around a 33x, depending on what the vesting schedule is. But with BitTensor, I do think it's going to do very well. I'd say right now I'd put it at a 20x because you take a look at it, it's already high in terms of an valuation. I guess there is more history in terms of price, although it really doesn't matter because there's going to be coins that get dumped into the circulation. So right now it does have a an all-time high in terms of market cap of around 5 billion, not even a 2x from here, but I think AI coins are going to do extremely well, so you do have that there. Next, we do have Injective. So Injective is like kind of a hot new layer one. I call them like first cycle layer ones. You take a look at this coin. Well, I mean, I guess it is its second cycle. It did come out in 2020, but it certainly had a pretty crazy run up back in March. There was a lot of money that got infused into the market. Injective took advantage of that, ran to around $4 billion. It's basically all already circulated. It looks like only around 3 more million need to be circulated. It has a total supply of 100 million. And so right now its market cap is sitting around 1.2 billion. Wouldn't surprise me at all considering its wick. And to be fair, there was a very nice run. This was mainly an AI run back in March of 2024, running from around half a billion to 4 billion. I would say this coin 10 to 15 billion is what I would project. I mean, if you really like the coin, you could say more. I will say when it comes to the technological aspect of a lot of these coins, many of them say they do the exact same thing. Some might do certain tasks a little bit faster, a little bit quicker than others, but a lot of this comes down to heavy speculative, evaluations by people. And if one coin has better technology, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do better in terms of the speculative betting on a coin during a bull run. So you can say it's got great technology. A lot of these coins have great technology. A lot of it also comes down to the narrative, but for Injective, I would say a 10 to a 15x in terms of that. Next, we've got Osmosis. So I think it's OSMO. Yeah, I remember this coin back in 2023. I have not looked at this chart in a while. Wow. So this coin's sitting 122 million. I should be checking the X's of some of these, but see how established these coins are. With coins like this, that are legitimate heavy, utility projects that are worth billions and billions of dollars. The follower count is always going to be there, but with something like Osmosis, I do want to see the amount of engagements with something like this. 11 hours ago, 122 likes. I mean, I guess necessarily it doesn't matter because it's more utility, but it is a decentralized exchange. Yeah, this was something that was very, very hot back in 2022. This would be this coin's. I mean, it came out during a bull run. And so it is kind of funny, really, at the end of the first bull run, the coin had its major run in early February up to around 3.3 billion. Wow. This is a coin that I would honestly expect not to reach a new all-time high this cycle. I mean, this is a brutal chart. What was the X from here? 156 to what? To 1.1. So it did about a 10x in that time frame. Yeah, this chart is not good for a utility play. So for Osmosis, I'd say a 7 to a 10x possibly. Next, we do have Virtuals. So I think Virtuals protocol. This coin is sitting 147th overall in terms of market cap, $1.12, under $1 billion. So this is the main protocol in which AI agents are created. That's why when you see things like Polymarket by Virtuals or X by Virtuals, there are many different AI agents built on Virtuals protocol. And so again, when you talk about AI and you talk about something like Virtuals, which has so many agents built on it, you could understand this coin potentially will do extremely well. Also, this is a relatively new project, which is very attractive to people as it hasn't had its first blow off top, its first full bull run in terms of the amount of money into the coin. Taking a look at how this coin acted recently, it went to around 4.6, 4.7 billion. It's sitting at around $730 million, so about 70% of a billion. Yeah, I think this coin's going to do extremely well, if I'm going to be honest. Now, in terms of a prediction, I would say a 30x. So a 30x at this point, what does it put it at? Around 20 billion? Yeah, for something that has so many agents built on top of it. Even if you argue, well, the AI agent cycle is over, it was early 2024, because that's probably when this ran, just because there was a crate. Now, the only thing you could argue with AI agents, again, is well, they had their run. It might pump again, but not to the same degree. I don't know. I just think with the speculation in regards to AI, the next blow off top we get, there's going to be a serious infusion into the AI market. And there are so many coins built off of this protocol that are worth 10, 20 in terms of market cap, 10, 20, 30. I think the protocol has a few agents that are over 100 million in terms of market cap. This coin's at 730, and it's what built everything. So it would be like more of a governance token of all of the AI agents that are built on top of it. So I think Virtuals will do very well. And by the way, I am invested into none of these coins. I am just the only thing I invest into right now is memes. Taking a look at the next one, this is Digibyte DGB. So DGB is definitely an OG coin. It's got such an amazing chart. I used to really like Digibyte. I probably bought this coin back in 2017. I've long sold. I probably sold it in 2019 when it was at its low. So there's some good investing advice. But taking a look at this coin, it's had 3 true cycles. I mean, you could say, well, Rick maybe was kind of involved with 2013, 2014 cycle, but its first cycle it had a top of around 1.2 billion. Its second cycle it had a top of 2 billion. Right now it's sitting at 144 million. This is like one of those OG coins that was trying to do something, create like a digital currency better than Bitcoin. I think the idea of digital currencies in general don't make sense. The volatility of them is too high. Something like Bitcoin has just turned into a stored value, which is fine considering, the 21 million in total supply. Although it is funny, there is other coins that can be a stored value and do things a lot better than Bitcoin. But you understand Bitcoin was like the OG, it's the first, so people are going to cling to it, and its value is based off of the amount of respect people give it. And so Digibyte, you could argue in terms of the practicality of it, the fact that its max supply is 21 billion, not 21 million, makes transactions easier in terms of the amount of Digibyte that's needed. It's much faster than Digibyte. It's like a decentralized currency, something you really wouldn't see nowadays, at least not at the scale, because back then people thought, well, decentralized currencies are going to be huge and something's going to beat Bitcoin, but Bitcoin really isn't used as a currency. Again, the volatility of it makes it to where it's really not... it doesn't make a ton of sense. But I give this coin credit. I mean, even in between cycles, you can see the coin overall has performed better this bear market in terms of staying above 100 million. So I would give this coin, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, do I think it'll usurp the 2021 cycle top? There's a lot more competition. There is. I mean, this coin's on everything in terms of markets. I mean, pretty much all these coins are on every market. For Digibyte, I would say it's at 100. Well, I mean, it could do a 20x, honestly. It really could. From where it is right now, wouldn't shock me. I mean, if you want to be safe, 11 to a 15x. But I mean, considering it, we saw it go from around 1.4 to 2 billion, now maybe 2.5 billion from 144 million. It's around a 20x right there. It's around a 20x. I think it's that Filecoin is next. Yeah. So next we have Filecoin, the main storage token. Filecoin has seen a cycle, and yeah, so Filecoin came out right in the heart of COVID. And it ended up running like crazy during that first cycle top to around $12 billion. Right now it's sitting at 1 point. Man, that's a brutal vesting schedule they have on Filecoin. Fully diluted. So the coin's been out for years. Fully diluted. It's sitting at around $4.5 billion. Right now it's 1.6 billion. And it is the main storage token in crypto. This is not a good chart. I do not like the look of this chart. When there was a bunch of money pumped into crypto in early 2024, the coin did 1.5 to 5.3. Yeah, it's not a great chart recently. And it is crazy to see a lot of these coins, these bigger coins, whether it's a storage coin, whether it's just a layer 1, a lot of these coins recently, just with looking at like a micro picture of the past 2 or 3 months, they're struggling. Like this coin is struggling. I guess maybe that's not going to be, but like even look at the last year. I mean, this coin goes from 1.9 to 1.5. This is a bull run we're dealing with Bitcoin. And so you're seeing, the watering down of cryptocurrency and money being dumped into all of these different coins. This is the second cycle for Filecoin. I think people are going to stay away from Filecoin. I'd say like a 3x, maybe a 5x for Filecoin in terms of that. Next, you've got Chainlink. Chainlink, you could argue, is probably one of the most known altcoins for normies. A layer 1 that really connects all the chains. And well, let's see what it is right now. This is its second cycle. Really, well, technically, I guess it's its third cycle, but it hit around $20 billion. Now it's at 15, fully diluted, 22 billion. Yeah, so for Chainlink, I think it's a 5 to 7x would be a significant high for Chainlink. You're talking about over 50 billion, but I think about a 5x is fine for Chainlink. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's very highly valued at this point. Next, we do have Monero. So Monero is the OG privacy token, the #1 privacy coin in cryptocurrency, sitting at around 4.9 billion. It is fully diluted at this point. 3 different cycles. The 2017 cycle top was around 8 billion, a little bit over 8 billion. And then the 2021 top for Monero was, I think it just usurped its all-time high from 2017 at around 8 billion. It's sitting at around 5 billion right now. This is very good price action recently. This coin, and by the way, this is a very strong chart as well. Monero, based on what it does, the OG aspect of it, I mean, it's a very safe play. You're not going to get rich off of it. If you wanted to get rich off of it, you had to invest in it back here. Kind of like Bitcoin, right? But this is a very good recent chart, especially to some of these other heavy layer 1 coins that I've seen. Like the last year, this coin has added around $2.5 billion to its market cap. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's got a high of 8 billion and it's tested it a few different times in different cycles. It's hard to say, oh, this coin's going to do a 5x from here. I'll say a 3x for Monero, maybe on the low end. Next, you've got Beam. Beam is brand new compared to many of these coins. I think Beam went through a rebrand or something like that. Governance token, 360 million. Just came out and compared to all these. I want to see how many followers Beam has. Get the golden check mark. Yes. 109K. Join March 2023. Rebrand May 22nd. Yeah, this is a coin that could do very well, even with a higher market cap. I mean, it's almost fully circulated as well. This coin hit around $2 billion back during that nice time for a lot of higher alts in 2024. 2.2 billion, 362 million. Coin looks like it's already reached a local low. Looks to be bouncing. Yeah, I think this coin could do 15, 20x maybe. I mean, and I think that's probably a very conservative pick. So I would say for Beam, maybe around a 20x, maybe in the upper echelon there. 360 million is attractive. Next, we've got Internet Computer. Internet Computer was doomed from the start. A very good technology, just disturbing chart. And it was the way in which it was launched was just brutal. Sitting at around 2.5. You have a chart like this, it's very unattractive to investors. And 2.5 billion. I do think this coin, let's see, what did it do? I mean, it did about a 7 or 8x. I'd say for this coin, maybe 10, 15. Well, I mean, it was overvalued at the start. I could see 15, 20 billion for a very nice cycle top for ICP. So ICP, I'd say somewhere in between a 7 to 10x, maybe 11 to a 15x back end. Based on its history, I'd say that. Next, we've got Polkadot. So Dot, another nice normie friendly layer 1. People normally buy. You put into an index, this would be a coin you would have in it. Sitting at 36th overall, fully circulated, 5.8 billion. Second cycle, 52 billion. Man, this is not a good chart for Polkadot. Because you even had, I just don't think people are going to invest into coins like this, these layer 1s that are on their second cycle, and they look like this. Chainlink's chart looks better than this. 50 billion to 5. Can it get back up to 50? I'd be surprised based on this price action right now. I'd say maybe 30 billion, like a 6x, 5 times 6, 30. 6x maybe. Put on the back end of 7 to a 10x. Kaspa. This is the influencer utility player. Is Kaspa. Yeah, so Kaspa's pretty much brand new. It has run like crazy. That's a very, very nice chart for being a new coin. But yes, it does have the attractiveness of this being its first cycle, sitting at around $2 billion. Wouldn't surprise me for layer 1 like this. I mean, layer 1s like this can run to $50, $60 billion. Now, will it? I don't know. They've done a good job courting a bunch of influencers that have decided that, Kaspa is their coin. And again, $2 billion, you could make a 20 or 30x off of this for sure. The fact that it's a layer 1. I do think there's going to be a lot of money going into AI coins that could detract from some of the layer 1s. Kaspa, I'd say around a 20x, maybe front echelon of 20. I mean, you could argue a 30x for Kaspa. Next, we've got Cardano ADA. So Cardano sitting 10th overall in terms of market cap among all coins. That's including stablecoins too, which I hate that they include stablecoins. I mean, I guess you have to include them. $30 billion. You want to get rich off of ADA, you got to be buying here. You're buying now, you're not going to get rich off of ADA. 30 billion. I mean, maybe recently it's come back alive. What was its cycle low? Around 8 to 29. So it's not about a 10x from its bear cycle low in 2023. No, that's a 3x. Did I say 10x? Now, the question for ADA is, will it potentially, usurp its 2021 cycle low? You can see the double top right here. Maybe 100 goes to 100. That's a 3.5, 4x. There's just so many other coins now, and we'll give it the front end of a 3x for it. And then you also have Uniswap. So I guess I threw Uniswap on here as well. Uniswap is very high end market cap, 38th overall. Fully diluted, 9.3 billion right now, 5.5 billion. I always use Uniswap. I love Uniswap. I just love the way the app works, the interface works. But the thing is, it's valued very highly. And so it did have, this is its second cycle. Its first cycle, it reached the top of around $22.5 billion. It'll usurp that, I would imagine. Well, it depends. I mean, I hope it does. Be good news for Ethereum if it did. Ethereum's really taking it on the chin. Uniswap's done basically nothing for the past 2.5, 3 years. It's had a few wicks where it's done like a 2x. This is indicative of what Ethereum's done. And so Uniswap being the decentralized exchange off of it, does it top at around 20 again, maybe? So 4x possibly? Something along those lines. So yeah, guys, this is basically what I would say with these coins. You can move a few of these around. The ones towards the top generally are going to be in the under $1 billion range. They've got a higher chance of earning more. You could argue they've got more risk as well. But Virtuals I could see doing better than a 30x. Kaspa, Beam, BitTensor. But BitTensor's at 4 billion already. DGB is probably the smallest one in terms of overall cap. Bitcoin by far is the largest. People, if you're going to get mad at, the Bitcoin 1.5x, that's a 50% increase. So it's like 170, 180K from here. That seems like the cycle top. It seems like from what I see, the consistent call in terms of the likely cycle top of Bitcoin, even if it does 220, that's a 2x, 220K per BTC. That's a 2x from what it is right now, basically at 110. So, and that's an overall valuation and approaching what, $3.5-4 trillion. I mean, that's a ton of money being dumped into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is stored value. It's a hedge against inflation. It's impossible to get rich off of investing into Bitcoin at this point. And that's not to say I don't like Bitcoin. That's just the reality of it. So guys, those are some utility plays. But either way, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you like the video down below. Also, this is not financial advice. Thank you for watching.